All right, we're welcome to the Game Ready podcast. We're here with the perennial football fan in the South, Stephen Stingray Ray. It's a pleasure to meet you. I met Stephen through CTS, which is another platform that they talk about sports and everything else. And I think we're going to cover about the same ground that they cover on CTS, hopefully. And Stingray is a professional, so I'm going to learn a little bit as we go along, and it's good to see you. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, man. Well, first off, thank you for having me on the show. And I'm Stephen Ray, but my stage name is Stingray. I was born and raised in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and actually got my sports broadcasting degree from the University of Alabama in 2010. But people will know me for my famous rants from Mississippi State. So there's a lot to cover about me, and then, of course, me joining the CTS as well.
That is excellent. I am looking forward to it. So you're a graduate of University of Alabama, and I, the research that I did, you wanted to be a meteorologist to start out, right?
Correct. Yes, I love everything about the weather. And for about the past year and a half, if there's any tornado warning in the state of Mississippi or the state of Alabama, I do live severe weather coverage on all of my social media platforms to give people a secondary source of severe weather coverage. I basically pull up either Radar Scope or Radar Omega full screen, and I track the tornadoes like people would do on a TV, but I do it on social media.
That is wonderful. I know it's so volatile. The weather up in Alabama is extremely volatile at certain times of the year, and that's a valuable resource for everyone. I know the people of Alabama really appreciate that.
And I've also got to say this too, starting in the fall, and let's see, I think it's August the 18th, I got admitted to the online broadcast meteorology program over at Mississippi State. So it will take me 2 years to get my my meteorology degree over at Mississippi State, and that will be a secondary degree on top of the sports broadcasting.
That is excellent. So you're going to be on TV pretty soon, huh?
Well, I wanted the weather, the meteorology degree is just for credibility to doing the severe weather on social media.
Oh, that's sweet. So you're gonna follow your own path. That is excellent.
Yes.
I mean, pretty much that is where the media is going. I watch more YouTube than I watch regular TV on a regular basis. So I mean, it's a valuable resource.
Right.
So how did you start with CTS, and how did you start with, when now you have a show? I think you have a show called the Stingray Scoop. So
Yes.
Tell us about your journey in starting with CTS.
Okay, well, we're not going to go down this road very much, but it's okay. But Joey Lozado, the founder and the owner of the CTS, was looking for, he started out and he had one interview, and the second interview that Joey lined up was a guy by the name of Jermaine Funny Man Johnson, who is a comedian who also does Alabama rant videos on social media. And so Joey had Jermaine Funny Man Johnson lined up, ready to do the interview. And then for some reason, Jermaine Funny Man Johnson decided to go and get himself arrested. So he canceled on Joey because of that. So Joey was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because I need somebody very important to launch my podcast. So he reached out to me and said, would you be willing to fill in and jump on for Jermaine Funny Man Johnson? And I'm always willing to do podcasts. I love talking and conversing with people. So yes, I said absolutely. So I took Jermaine Funny Man Johnson's place for the Sunday interview, and we did the interview, and Joey and I continued to talk back and forth after the interview. And then one day, Joey was like, look, I'm really looking forward to making this a big time thing and start making money. And we need partners, myself and then Marvin Constant, who is a former Alabama legend. They were partners together, and they wanted me to come on and be a partner with the CTS. Now, I was a little hesitant at first because I'd never been a partner like that before. So, of course, I had to think about it, but I agreed to it. And last fall, my first show was a show called Stingray's Game of the Week. I did one episode. However, things got really hectic in my life. So I talked to Joey, and I was like, I forgot to step away. He's like, look, Sting, don't quit. Just take your time. Just do what you got to do, and do the CTS periodically. I said, okay. All right. So all last fall on the Facebook page, the CTS interview room, you would see me pop up with breaking news stories throughout the day. Like if a game got postponed because of COVID, I was right there on air on the Facebook group as soon as it popped up, the Stingray Scoop. Okay, so back in, I think it was February of this year, Joey was like, Sting, here's an idea for you. You're already doing the Stingray Scoop. What about every Friday afternoon you do a recap of what sports breaking news happened through the entire week, and go from Monday through Friday, and each day just basically break down a little bit of every sports news that happened throughout that week. And so since February, every Friday, I've been doing the Stingray Scoop, in which I just recap the breaking news from the past week. And like I said, I go, what happened on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. And then like if we have the super regionals or the regionals of college baseball, I'll go ahead and pop up the television times and the matchups so that people can go, okay, here are the games for tonight. Here are the games for Saturday. Here are the games for Sunday. And that's pretty much what the Stingray Scoop is in a nutshell.
That is excellent. We're gonna really we're gonna push that, because if come football season, you can't have enough information. Even though there's information every 5 seconds, there's always something new, and there's always a different take. And we're gonna really, I'm gonna help push his show. I watched a little bit of it earlier, and I was thoroughly entertained. And we're gonna we're gonna touch on college football. Later on during the interview, and then we're gonna move forward. But one thing that really brought you to really a high pinnacle of fame several years back was your participation on the Paul Feinbaum show.
Yes.
And I was an avid watcher when back like 11 years ago. I used to watch it every afternoon, because it was a healthy resource of everything football, especially everything SEC. And Paul Feinbaum is, he's one of the best media journalists that, as far as that covers college football that's around today. How did you get? How did they even reach out to you? And I know you were famous for your rants, but how did they reach out to you to even get on the show and give your take on college football?
Well, let's go back to the meteorology thing for a second. Back through middle school, high school, I wanted to be a meteorologist. Mm-hmm. And so junior year of high school, I went over to Mississippi State. I toured the campus and got a feel for it. And then my senior year of high school, I went back over there and toured it even more in depth and fell in love with the university and everything about the uniqueness over there at Mississippi State. However, when I started looking at the curriculum, I realized that sports broadcasting would be a better avenue for me, just simply because there's more sports, going on full time rather than weather. So I decided to come back home at the University of Alabama and get my degree in sports broadcasting. However, I was one of those odd fans that would always wear Mississippi State stuff in my Alabama classes. So I mean, from let's say 2004 on, I was a true blue, full maroon, true maroon bulldog.
Oh wow. You're in like enemy territory, and you were a true fan, because back then they were not as competitive as they are now.
Right.
Back then they were like my team, the team that I played for. They still play on a high level, but when I played college football at Cincinnati, we were like low, bottom of the totem pole. Mississippi State was not bottom of the totem pole, but they were not the powerhouse they are now.
Yeah.
So that's just a true fan.
And so, I was a Mississippi State fan all the way through. Okay. So back in 2014, when the SEC debuted, Paul Feinbaum, on the first day of his show being on TV, he said, "We would like to have a representative of each SEC school, and we would also like for you to please send in video rants of telling us why you think your team is going to win." He said that on the air. So I thought, you know what? I might actually think about doing that, because nobody is a representative of Mississippi State on the show, and I have a sports broadcasting degree, so I'm going to think about that. So that was in August. Okay, so all of the first few weeks of September, I watched a lot of the rants, and a lot of the rants were just awful. And the reason that they were awful, it was not because of the content, but it was because of the production quality, because people didn't know how to use their phones, and they would put it up real close like this, like you could look up their nostrils and everything. So I said, now wait a minute. I said, I can knock this out of the park. Okay. So my first one was when undefeated Mississippi State went down to LSU and knocked off LSU. All right, so that week, the week before, I sent in my first rant to Feinbaum, and I said, this Saturday night in this Saturday night in Tiger Stadium, the Dogs, the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and the DAC Attack are going to shock the world when they go into Tiger Stadium and upset LSU. Well, now you got to remember, LSU has not lost at home since 1992 to Mississippi State. So when I put that rant out and sent it into Feinbaum, I know Feinbaum went, this guy is a lunatic. I'm not showing that. Well, what happened? Mississippi State goes down there and pretty much blows them out. Now, the score was a little bit closer than the game actually was, because LSU tried to come back. But if you look at the stats, it was just a complete blowout. Okay, so the next week, Mississippi State plays Texas A&M at home at Davis Wade Stadium. And so I sent in a rant. Feinbaum actually showed that one, because I actually called Paul out. I said, Mr. Feinbaum, I sent you in a rant last week. You didn't show it, so I'm trying it again. And he showed that one. And I think that one on my YouTube page got like 15,000 views, I think it was. Then the next week, Auburn comes into Davis Wade Stadium, and that was the #2 versus #3 matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So that one, I really had to step up my game. So I got a bull, a ceramic bull that I have down here where I live, and I put it behind me, and everybody just completely went nuts over that one. I think it was like that one had like 45,000 views in a week, and thus Stingray was born.
That is a great story. Holy cow. That is excellent. I mean, like every great thing, it just happened. And there was no plan in place. It was
Right.
all pure passion. And you really love Mississippi State football. And
Yes.
that's so good to see. I mean, that's an impressive story.
Now,
So,
let me also say this one more thing. That first year in 2014, Mississippi State went all the way to #1. I mean, it was great. It was wonderful. But it wasn't until 2015 that I really took off. And it was one rant. It was the return matchup between LSU and Mississippi State.
oh, yeah.
Mississippi State hosted LSU in Davis Wade Stadium. And I don't know if you remember this one or not, but that one, I had an urn, a blue urn behind me, and I had a picture of Davis Wade Stadium behind it. And I called Davis Wade Stadium the new Death Valley because of the cowbells. And I gave the record of Mississippi State playing at Davis Wade Stadium since they expanded the stadium over there. And at that point, they were still undefeated. And so at the end of the rant, I said, no, I'm sorry, I didn't say it. I screamed it. I just have one statement to make to everybody involved with LSU. We are Mississippi State. Fear the Bells. And then I grabbed my cowbell and went, Hail State. The first day that I aired that, Feinbaum played it 7 different times during his show.
Whoa, that's cool. Holy cow.
All right.
That is
So,
cool.
so on Tuesday, when I put that out, I put it out probably around 11 or 12 because I sent it in before Feinbaum actually went on the air.
Mm-hmm.
I had tickets to the LSU Mississippi State game. All right. 10 minutes before kickoff on Saturday night, I remember looking at my phone and to see how many views I'd had all the way up to kickoff. 350,000 views on that one video.
Whoa.
That's when I knew Stingray could do and be anything because of how popular that got.
That is excellent. You can I think I saw that clip because you have like a bunch of clips, and I was looking forward to hearing the cowbell. To be honest, I was hoping you brought the cowbell on.
But that was definitely one of the biggest ones, and also that one was shown on the trending videos that I think is on Fox right now, right this minute.
Mm-hmm,
that one actually got on that one. And it also got me a segment on Sports Illustrated, the Extra Mustard Minute.
I watched that. Yeah, I did watch the Extra Mustard Minute. Yeah, that is a cool concept. I love it. I mean, I love when people are passionate, especially about football. I love football. Everybody knows that it's the best sport in the world, and it is a very it's in my opinion, it's a unifying sport.
Yes.
Sweet. That is sweet. So I mean, I guess we already covered your because I had a question about your journey into media on your YouTube channel. So when did you decide to actually start your YouTube channel? And did you know what concept you want to have?
Just basically after the rants started, I started posting them, and then along with the rants, of course, you know, you can't be the same old guy. You got to continue to up your game every single week. So that's why I would have a different backdrop behind me every week, is because everybody wants to hear what I got to say, but also they want to see a little variety in the background as well.
Exactly. That is sweet. You give. I'm. This is a class in media development also. So I'm taking mental notes, and you know, this is helping me out really more than you ever know. I mean, this is huge. So your main inspiration was just to get your opinion out and to get the word of Mississippi State being a powerhouse, which you knew it was a powerhouse, out to people. That was your main inspiration, right?
Yes, and just to make people happy, you know, and give people a fun little laugh.
Oh,
and the reason that I think that it went as far as it did was because I wasn't dirty, I wasn't trashy, I didn't call anybody out, I didn't use any vulgar language. I did it just as passionate and as clean as I could.
And I like that. I like that because when people start, you know, you start getting trashy and you start talking about other teams and in a negative fashion, there's no room for that. There's, you know, there's enough room for everybody until they enjoy the sport. People are pissed off enough when their team loses. So when you talk bad about their team, it makes things you make it a little bit of bump, but it doesn't really spread any kind of goodwill, which I think you spread a lot of goodwill and just watching your videos over the last few days, you know, it made me happy. So you know, you accomplished, you know, your mission.
But you know, I'm no longer a Mississippi State fan though.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Whoa, what happened?
Okay, well, that kind of took a turn for the worst. Okay, so I'll get into that. All right, so let's start in May of 2017. Okay, so that was back when people could still direct message you on YouTube. Okay, so I had not checked it in a while. All right, so I checked it one day, and I got an email on there from a guy that said this, and I was absolutely blown away. It said this: "Hi, Stephen. My name is Eric from Culver City, California. I am the producer of the Comedy Central show Tosh.0, and we would like to have you on our show if you are interested. Please email me back at, you know, whatever. Thanks, Eric." So, of course, I emailed Eric.
Oh, yeah.
And we set it up that I actually got to go out to Los Angeles. The Daniel Tosh and Tosh.0 actually flew me to Los Angeles, put me up out there in a hotel, paid for all airfare, and plus anywhere I wanted to go, a taxi service or whatnot around LA. Wow. So I go out there. It was September the 11th of 2017. For 4 hours, I got to actually sit down and have a one-on-one and film the segment with Daniel Tosh.
Wow.
Okay, so November the 7th of 2017, that interview aired. For whatever reason, and I think jealousy played a huge part in it, Mississippi State fans, for whatever reason, thought that it was supposed to be a cut down, and they took it as serious and not satire. And because of my appearance on Tosh.0, a lot of the Mississippi State fans started fat shaming and bullying me on social media because they took it as that I was going on Tosh.0 and embarrassing Mississippi State and advancing my own brand at their expense. So it got pretty nasty, And I said, look, if that's the way y'all are going to treat me, then I'm just going to cut ties completely with Mississippi State. And that's what I did.
Oh wow. That's when people go over the top with their opinions,
Yeah.
it makes things so much more complicated. I mean, if anybody knows sports and sports, talk, people can
Yeah.
see that you're a true fan.
Right.
I mean, there's even though I don't know how I didn't see the Tosh 2.0 segment, but
Yes.
even so, you are a true fan. If anything, you actually brought more exposure to the team,
Oh, yes.
and
Yeah.
actually helped the team with recruiting, with just basically letting people know that Mississippi State is a
Yeah.
up and coming program. I'm so sorry to hear that. That
Yes.
really is upsetting. So.
Well, that's. I mean, right now that's so long ago. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's in the past, and I've moved on. But that's the reason of what happened with the whole Stingray thing,
Oh wow.
and it was a a kind of a bad end
Yeah.
to Mississippi State. But then, of course, I went and did a few rants for Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have some following up there in Columbia, Missouri.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm just a fan of the SEC now because of my show.
Understood. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, you can pick from top to bottom. There's always great stories and great sports going around the SEC. So, but
Right.
you always bounce back.
Yes.
That's an impressive story. So, what is I know you did media days. What's your best media day fan story? Like, say you met somebody who was just a little bit more over the top than you. What would be your number one story that you can say that when you interviewed somebody on media day at the SEC media days?
Well, this one actually is not at the SEC Media Days, but this was actually at a quarterback club meeting that I actually got to go to because I was a member of the quarterback club in Starkville for Mississippi State. And I'm still a member of it because I met some great people over there. It was just a lot of the bullying on social media.
Yeah.
But I actually got to meet, and I think it was in 2016. It was before the Mississippi State versus Kentucky game because he was actually calling that game. I got to actually meet, get a picture, and get a signed football from Brent Musburger.
That is cool. That is excellent. And
Yeah.
just as a side note, I gotta say this: anybody that bullies anybody on social media, you're a coward. You have
Yeah.
no reason to. You should have every form of communication banned from your use. So there's no room for that. I just have to say that because I understand that I've been a victim of bullying too,
Right.
and it's uncalled for, and it makes things so much more complicated. I like to keep things simple. That's the end of my rant. So.
Right. And also, I had the opportunity to actually go on the Feinbaum show twice live. So I was able to meet Paul twice, and then at media days, I was able to meet Booger McFarland and Joe Tessitore.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that was cool meeting Booger McFarland.
Yes.
He got kind of a bad rap on his performance on Monday Night Football. I didn't think he did that bad, to be honest. I mean, I think he's a knowledgeable guy. I think he has a very good base of knowledge, and his football IQ is off the charts. But it is what it is. I mean, I know it was cool meeting him, but
and then also when I met him, when I did the interview with Feinbaum here in Tuscaloosa at the Quad, I got to meet Marcus Spears too.
Oh yeah, he's another great
big swagoo.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, he's blowing up. I watch him.
Yeah.
I watch his segments on YouTube any chance I get.
Yeah.
His personality is just bright. It is very cool. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so I want to get your opinion about the current state of the landscape of college football. What is your opinion about the Supreme Court ruling that just passed earlier this week in regards to compensation?
Man, I don't have any clue about that. I'm more focused on the expansion of the playoffs. I really feel like that's going to help out a lot of the quote unquote smaller teams out there that wouldn't have had an opportunity before, kind of like a Liberty University
Yeah.
or a Coastal Carolina or a Cincinnati. I
Yeah.
really think that if they pass that, that's going to really help things.
Oh, it will, because I can just speak from my experience. If going to Cincinnati, when I went there, it was viewed as a commuter school.
Yeah.
They've done an amazing job over the last 15 years of building up that program, and they built it, and they had a plan to put it in the position that it's in now. And
Yes.
with the expansion of the playoff, it's like everything's lining up to give everyone a legitimate shot to play and have and have a chance to get as much exposure as the Alabamas and other major SEC teams that that just rule the landscape in recruiting and in TV exposure.
And another thing that's going to help them if they do expand it is also the transfer portal.
Yes.
Because they can't, if they're a 5-star guy, but they're like 3 or 4 on the depth chart at Alabama, they can transfer to Cincinnati or a Memphis or somewhere like that and go, well, we can also get in the playoffs too. So maybe that can make it even more across the board if that happens.
Yeah, I hope it does, because Cincinnati had a couple of transfers, one from Alabama. He was a running back. I can't recall his name, and he actually helped the program immensely, and it was a very good find. I really hope that the whole transfer portal situation continues to develop and grow and allow players to actually make the best decisions for themselves, because the coaches are definitely going to make the best decision for themselves. So, and I was privy to that when I was in school. So that's an excellent viewpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, real quick, you are you're a personal trainer, correct?
Yes, I am. yes, I do. I am a trainer. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've also got another interesting story that might pique your interest as well on the things of a personal trainer. Because of all of the bullying and the fat shaming of me being on social media, I completely got off of social media for a while. 2018, I was completely almost non-existent. And because of all that, as you know, I did a lot of binge eating, okay, because of that. Okay, so in January the 28th of 2019, I was diagnosed with gout.
Oh boy, yes.
Okay, I was 31 at the time. And so that was the only health issue I had. But my doctor said, Stephen, you have got to lose some weight because your weight caused this gout. Because I had been overweight my entire life. All right. From January the 28th, 2019, that was the last day I had any beef, any pork, any shellfish, or any soda. I drank 80 to 90 ounces of water every single day, and I am happy to announce that I had lost 125 pounds on the low purine diet. Now, over this past winter, I gained about 30 pounds of it back, but I am working to get it back off. And my ultimate goal is to eventually lose a total of 150 pounds.
That
would be going from 368 pounds at my biggest. My goal weight is 218.
That is excellent. As as a sufferer of the King's disease myself, I have gout, and I was diagnosed with gout in 2014. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew my hands and my ankles were burning. And, you know, and when you have those flares, it is no pain that you can ever describe that can even come close to the pain of a gout flare. I feel your pain.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so what I do is my doctor told me to exercise up to an hour, 5 days a week.
Yep.
Oh, no, sir. I do more than that. Earlier today, this morning, I finished up about 10:30. I did 4 miles in an hour and 20 minutes of walking.
That is excellent. That's the best exercise.
And I do that 7 days a week without fail.
Oh, that is good for your mental and physical health. And you know, if you throw in a little resistance work in there too.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's even better, because lean muscle is the fountain of youth. So
hey, and also real quick, let me see if I can do this.
Okay.
I wanted to show you my transformation.
Of course. Yes, I like that.
Host, okay, for some reason you've got to enable me to share the screen. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, let me figure this out.
Because I wanted to show you this.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. I am gonna figure it out.
Because I really want to show you my transformation, because I was a huge individual.
Oh wow. Yeah, let me figure this out, man, because I want to see this myself. That is cool.
And I'll tell you this too. At my smallest, I went from a pant size of a 58 to a 42.
That is excellent.
Yep.
That is excellent. That is so cool, man. You can't beat that.
And all I eat right now is chicken and a few fish, because, you know, a couple of them, like tuna and that kind of stuff, is really bad for gout.
Oh.
So all I do is chicken, and then I do catfish, tilapia, and salmon.
Salmon is the best. Salmon is excellent.
Yes.
I'm a huge salmon fan. My girlfriend made me salmon the other day, so I enjoy it.
Like I said, I've had no sodas and no pork, beef, or chicken since January the 28th of 2019.
That is excellent. You're doing better than I, because I am, because I test the whole. I'm a little bit more lax, and I try to make sure that that I try to enjoy myself a little too much. Okay, let me see if I can. How do I allow you to share the screen? I don't know if I can figure this out in time. Oh, hold up. Okay, I just changed it, so you should be able to share, hopefully.
Okay, give me just a second. Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I saw that. That's the picture you have on LinkedIn. Yeah. Yes, that is excellent, man.
So that was over there on the left. That was 260 or 368 pounds, almost 400. And that on the right over there is at 245 when I was at my lowest. Now, like I said, I've gained a little bit back. But I am working diligently to get it back off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're, and the thing is, it's a normal factor to gain some weight back, as long as you maintain a consistent effort, and then you change it up and do things that kind of outside of the box of what you're used to doing physically, it will fall, it will burn,
Yep.
and it will take care of itself. And the nutrition is 80% of it. You're knocking it out the park. And I commend you and congratulations on your weight loss and your journey. As far as living a healthier life, you're gonna thank yourself in 10 years
Oh, oh
because you're
yes.
going to be so much ahead. You must be so much more ahead of the game than everybody around you. Because that's a battle that I fight every day, is to
Yep.
actually just get people to be not really motivated, but just have a consistent effort towards their health and fitness.
Well, you are welcome to tell them my story, or I
Oh
can
yeah.
send you that picture and show them.
Oh, I would love it, and I
Okay.
and I also I thank you for bringing up the subject of having gout, because I
Yeah.
wanted to bring it up on my show. I just didn't
Mhm.
know how to bring it up because I've suffered through it, and there's a million people who suffer through it, and they don't know how to manage it, and that is a major setback for a lot of people.
And another thing too, what I've learned about gout is that what I like to call it is the trial and error disease,
Yes, it
because what triggers me may not trigger
you
you, and vice
exactly.
versa.
Exactly. Because tuna doesn't trigger me.
Right.
Yeah, tuna doesn't trigger me. The thing that triggers me is broccoli
Yeah.
and like processed meat. Broccoli,
Yes.
processed meat is like
Yep.
that's like the worst thing. And
Right.
sometimes I'll gamble a little bit with it, but in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things, I can't even have a sub sandwich.
Right.
I have to make it from straight chicken, regular chicken.
And see, with all the complications of gout that I was reading about, I didn't really. I was 31 at the time. I was still relatively young.
Oh yeah.
Didn't want heart disease, kidney disease, diabetes, and kidney stones. I didn't want that. So
Mhm.
I said, okay, it's either you can live out the rest of your life and not make it to 50 and keep eating the way that you were,
Mhm.
or you can have lived a great life
Exactly.
eating that stuff. You can cut it out
Mhm.
and find joy in something else
Exactly.
and live a healthy life. And that's what I chose.
Exactly. And that's the smartest thing that anybody could say. I mean,
Yep.
I look at my gout diagnosis as a a a get out of jail free card, because my family, it runs through my family: diabetes,
Right.
high blood pressure, obesity. And it actually has forced me to actually look at my diet in a more
Yes.
comprehensive fashion rather than
Right.
just grabbing anything to eat. And I feel a lot better. I still have my flares here and there, and
Right.
I'm lucky enough to where I have a girlfriend who's a medical professional. So,
Right.
so she helps me through the
Awesome.
whole process. So
Right.
I feel your pain, and I really appreciate your feedback. And because I was going to touch on your weight loss when I saw your LinkedIn picture, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to dive into it without not going too far into it. But I
Right.
mean, man, that you just made the show even more important, and reaching even more people, hopefully, to give them the actually good news that it's able to be conquered.
And I will say this too. I'm a believer that the weight loss surgery should be the 100% last resort,
Mm.
because I have heard absolutely zero positive results out of that surgery. Everything else I've heard, I can't keep food down. I have low iron. I'm sick. My immune system's off. I knew that I was going to do it come hell or high water
Mhm.
without doing the surgery regardless.
Exactly. And it goes into every, I preach this on a daily basis. You don't want to alter your body. You want to
No.
alter your behavior. Your behavior is the blueprint to your actions. And
Yep.
when you adjust your behavior, it will
Yep.
alter, and it will change your body. Your body
Yes.
will change if you change your behavior. You change your behavior, you're batting 1,000, man. Your story behind your weight loss is more powerful, in my opinion, than your story behind, you know,
Yes.
you being Stingray. That is a
Right.
huge story. You can help out so many, because a lot of people suffer in silence
Yes.
with gout and with being overweight, and they just think there's no other way out. There is a way out. You just have to change your behavior, and
Yeah, and you got to stay dedicated, man. You got to.
exactly, you got to stay dedicated, and the changing of the behavior gives you the blueprint to
Yeah.
actually change your life. That's huge, man. Man,
And, thank you.
you knocked this one out the park. This is the interview. I've enjoyed this interview more than anything. This has been the coolest thing. I'm gonna have you back on, and and then I'm gonna do your show, and
Okay. Yes.
and then we're gonna hit the ground running, and hopefully and reach a lot of people and help people see that there is so much more to life than just
Yes.
being an ass.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, but I will tell you the hardest thing when you start a diet is getting all of the toxins that were in your body out. And I'm just talking about getting over the sugar, not craving sugar,
Yes.
getting all of the soda stuff out of your body. You're going to feel awful.
Yes.
You're going to feel lethargic.
Yep.
You are going to feel extremely hungry. But if you give it 3 weeks to a month, and you get on a new routine, you don't ever want to go back to your old ways.
And that's the God honest truth. And even as a trainer, I've battled with my weight. If you saw a picture of me 3 years ago, I was 310 pounds, and I was training people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now I'm down to 280. I'm
Right.
feeling good. And and my goal is to not have to wear a shirt in a couple months. So I want to go see if I can go around without wearing a shirt. I'm not at that point yet, but that's the goal.
And I will say one last thing in parting. If you are overweight, if you're obese, and you really want to lose weight, take advice from me. Do it sooner rather than later, because my weight loss journey was easy. However, I can tell you, I had the worst knee pain due to keeping the weight on for so long.
True indeed. It saves your joints, it saves your heart, and it saves your life. You just hit it on the head. On that note, we're gonna end the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Stingray. Hey, and hey, I look forward to talking to you soon. And
okay,
this is a joyous day. I mean, I really appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, we'll be talking to you soon. If you have any parting shots or anything you want to say.
Just keep up with the CTS and keep up with the good work.
There it is. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to tune off with Stingray. Thank you for joining us. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you, Stingray. Hey, I appreciate you, man. I'm not bullshitting. This is probably my best interview, man. I thank you for just leading everything and especially the weight loss and the gout story, man. I've been burning to get this out because I'm just getting over a flare right now. So I'm just getting over a really bad flare that I had 2 weeks. I went out and thought I was 25 years old with my girlfriend, and went on a little bit of a binge over the weekend. I paid for it 2 weeks later. So, but yeah, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Right. And do you want to do my show today or tomorrow?
If we can do it tomorrow, because I got I got some things I got to get done. If it works for you, we can do it tomorrow.
What time?
We can do it around this time if that works. Like at 2 o'clock. Like hold up. Let me double check.
Okay. Because it's 2 o'clock here.
It's 2 o'clock here. Let me double check because I have some sessions.
Okay. So you are in Orlando, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So you're on Eastern. Okay.
Yeah. I've been down here for 21 years.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, this is home. This is
right.
This area is blowing up so much.
But I tell you, I bet you hate Central Florida though when it comes to Cincinnati, because that rivalry has become.
Oh, it's big. It's big. I had a kid that actually played at Cincinnati, and they played UCF in 2018 when UCF was, I think they were like number 3 in the nation, and they beat the brakes off of Cincinnati. Then they came up to Cincinnati the following year, and Cincinnati won the last 2 years. We beat them. So I wear my Cincinnati. That's the only day that I wear my Cincinnati gear, is when I know everybody else around here knows that we're going to play UCF.
That's awesome.
And I put it all in their face. I make sure that everybody knows that I'm a Bearcat. And I'm going to get some more gear. Probably, hopefully, I get a chance to go up there this year and get even more gear. But you hit it on the head, man. I really appreciate it.
So, what time works for you tomorrow?
Let's do. Can we do? We can do 2 o'clock my time if that works, or 1 o'clock my time. 1 or 2.
That's perfect. 2 o'clock your time, 1 o'clock my time.
Cool. It's a done deal. It's blocked off, and we're gonna make it happen.
Okay, and we'll do it on a restream, so I will send you that link tonight.
Sweet, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
All right. Take care.
You too.
All right.
Bye. All right. Bye.